To create stop motion animation. We see a lot of stop motion animation in films where they have animation and cartoons. Those films are usually made up of hundreds and thousands of tiny little pictures. And normally there's one little thing in each picture that changes or moves. All those little pictures are called frames, and they get put together to create stop motion. Let's get started. I want to make a stop motion film of a car going up and down a hill, a square to make the grass on the ground. So if you take a look, I've chosen shapes. You can see there's a square and a circle. And here are lots of my options: squares, triangles, hearts, and more things that you can use to make your shapes. Now, grass is normally green, so I need to change the pen color to green. That is the outline of the shape. And over here is a paint bucket. The paint bucket is used to fill in the color of the shape. If you ever see these checkered squares on it, that means that part would actually be transparent. I want the inside and the outside of my rectangle to be green. Now I just spread out my rectangle and there's some grass. Next, let's take a look at the pen tool or the paintbrush tool. If I click on this, I see my options over here. And on this side, I see the pen size. I'm going to start drawing my hill going up and back around. And if I close my shape, it will actually be filled in. Next, I need my car. So back to shapes, and I'm going to click on more, choose the car. I'd like a red car. So I'm going to change both the pencil here and the paint bucket to red, and I'm going to put in my car. To move my car, I'm going to use my cursor or this arrow down here. Once I've selected it, you can see that I have 4 little arrows around my cursor. This means that I can move my car to wherever I want it to go. You also notice there's lots of different dots around it. If I want to make my car bigger or smaller, usually I go from the corners. Take a look. If I chose to go from one of these middle circles, take a look at what happens. Kind of stretches it out like gum. I don't want that. So most programs also have an undo button and a redo button. This is a great opportunity to use undo. The circle on top will make your car turn. So we're going to put all of these things together and have our car start driving. I'm going to make them a bit smaller, and I'm going to put them down here at the bottom of our hill. Remember I said that an animation is made up of lots and lots of frames. So here, I'm going to go ahead and say, I want to duplicate this. And now I'm going to move my car a little bit. And he starts climbing the hill. Duplicate again. Move in a little further. And I just keep on moving a little bit and duplicating. Moving and duplicating. And I'm going to continue to do that until my car reaches the end. Added the rest of the frames to my stop motion animation. You can see there are lots of them. Let's test it out. There goes my car up and down the hill. And again. It's looking great. Once you've finished your work, there are a few things you can do. You can save the file, or most of you will want to export it. Give it a name, and then go ahead and export. Depending on what device you're on, you can either download it or you can download it to your Google Drive, or you can save it to your pictures on an iPad. Let's try one more animation. I'm going to click on New, and this time we're just going to play with a pen for a bit and maybe some shapes. Imagine you wanted to do something about superstars. So we wanted to write the word super. I have my paintbrush or pen. I'm going to choose smooth this time. And I have set my paint bucket to transparent. So I'm going to write the word super. So there's my S. And again, I'm going to duplicate, change my color. And there's my U. Duplicate, my P. Duplicate, E, and an R. Okay, so now we have our super. Let's add some stars to it this time. So remember, this would be transparent inside, and I'm going to change it to shapes, stars. So I have one star there, maybe one star here, and let's do some red stars. Oops, I was going to duplicate it and I forgot. So I'm going to duplicate it. Now I'm going to add a few more stars. There we go. Maybe I'll do one that's completely red. So there's a completely red one. Let's duplicate it again. And another completely red one. And duplicate it again. Now that I have my stars, I want them to move. I think that would be kind of fun. So remember, I'm going to take my cursor, and when I select the star, I'm just going to move them to a new location. I'm going to have everybody move to the right. And then afterwards, we'll have them move back to the left. Duplicate it. Move back to where it was, or thereabouts. Animation looks like. There you go. I hope you have a fun time experimenting.